Today we got a pretty special video. It's the last video in the series that Red Bull Gaming's been doing with Capcom about the development of Street Fighter 6. This one's titled Exclusive Developer Deep Dive into the Making of Street Fighter 6. So I'm guessing it's more so about the development cycle of Street Fighter 6 and the people behind the game, which I think is cool. I think it's good to humanize the developers because once the game comes out, they are going to take a beating on social media and people are going to forget that they are humans making the game, and there will be mistakes. It happens in every single game that you play, right? With League, people are always yelling and tweeting at Riot, and Call of Duty, people are getting mad at Activision, and what else? Bungie used to take a beating back in the Halo days. It happens with every game. So I think it's okay to try and humanize the developers and the directors behind the game at least a little bit. Will it actually lead to any change in how people treat them on social media? I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, it's going to be a long video today, so sit down, strap in, and most importantly, scroll down, check if you're subbed. I'm trying to hit 10,000 sometime soon. 50 million is such a mind-boggling number, especially for a fighting game. I know it's lifetime, but still, 50 million units of anything being sold is crazy. I think that's true for most fighting games, is that versus mode 1v1 is the main way that you play them, right? There's no real single player aspect to it that people really enjoy, or that casuals really enjoy. But I think World Tour mode is trying to do that. I think it's doing it very well so far from what we've seen, the very little that we've seen.
ストリートファイター6らしさはもちろん対戦の部分でもね、新しいシステムを入れたり、演出があったり、
I really like the new drive system. I was very skeptical about it at first, as I am with most new things, because it was asking me to change the way that I play the game. But the more I played the beta and the more that I played the demo, the more I enjoyed it, you know, over the like 2 or 3 times we got to play the game so far. He's talking about diversity here. I think they did a great job with like the diversity of the characters' designs and backgrounds and everything like that. You really feel it. Like no two characters feel like they play exactly the same. I feel this way too. 35 years is crazy. This is really true because he's talking about how the game is 35 years old, and the game is older than me by over a decade. And my dad was talking to me about how he used to play Street Fighter, and even he, somebody who doesn't really play any games anymore, recognizes like Ryu, Chun, Ken, Blanca, Dhalsim, all those characters. He recognizes them, but it's one thing to recognize them, and it's another thing to get somebody like him back on the game. You know, that's a very difficult transition to make because he's, you know, he just likes it for the nostalgia, right? He recognizes the characters. But I think that's kind of what he's talking about they want to do, is like transition those players who recognize the IP back into actually playing the game, which is very hard. I don't think it's probably not super hard to maybe get them to buy the game, to spend the $60, but to keep playing the game is tough. Because if all they can do is play against other people who are all way better than them, it's hard to keep them playing, you know, keep them motivated. Very true. You can only lose so many times before you realize that maybe I need to learn some stuff, dude. Or maybe I need to give up, right? Those are like the 2 paths that you take. Oh, hey, classic DJ. Look at that. That's the first time we've seen that. I think this is really cool that World Tour mode has a purpose. You know, it's not, I mean, you can just chill in World Tour mode if you want. But in the end, I think it's supposed to help you transition into actually playing the game and like knowing how to play the game in a fun way that's not just like a normal tutorial. Even fighting games with normal tutorials, people don't take the time to sit down and learn them because it's, you know, it seems like homework sometimes.
だというそのアートの方向性とか、音楽もそのヒップホップ で表現したいっていうところが
I see it in the design. I don't really hear it too much in the music.
ヒップホップっていう
I'll say that.
ストリートがすごくその相性がいいなと思う。
Like some of the character themes, I don't think really match this vision of being a hip hop like oriented game. I think like the menu music, like the Battle Hub music and stuff, it feels very like jazz, and I really like that. But I don't really get like hip hop vibes from any of the music, I don't think. I do from the design choices though, like all the graffiti and stuff, and like some of the costumes we've seen.
とかロックとかそっち系のイメージの曲調が多くて、まあそれはそれで個性が出せたんですけども、やっぱりストリートファイターのなんていうのかな、イメージではストリートで戦うことだから、ストリート。
How cool would have been to go to this? That the background they were in is like a Street Fighter art museum they had going for like a limited time in Japan.
原点回帰みたいなところもあって、まあそういうカルチャーを入れたり、あとはストリートファイター3シリーズで。
Dude, the Street Fighter 3 soundtrack I think fits the theme of that game so well, and the music itself, separate from the game, is still so good. Like I've never played Third Strike. I've listened to half of the damn OST. It's that good.
まあ6に対するマインドが、まあ新しい対戦格闘を作るというよりは、
Make it do Street Fighter. I like that idea. You know, I like that idea that they're not, you know, they're looking to the past for some things, but they're kind of looking to make their own. Impact on the series, I guess. You know, maybe this is what's gonna happen with MK. Did you guys see that they named it MK1? Like, what? Why you guys go back to 1, man? I don't know what else they would have went to, but 1 is so funny.
じゃあ新しいストリートファイターってなんだろうってところで、やっぱり対戦格闘の部分は大事だから、まずファイティンググラウンドしっかり作ろう。
Fighting ground is like the versus mode, right? Like ranked and casual match and battle hub and all that.
物語を作ろうというのでワールドツアーができて。
Well, tour mode is the single player.
ストリートファイターの歴史。
This is really cool, right?
ゲームセンターとか。
I kind of want to show a frame where they're on the cabinet. Like this, I think something that was really cool was during Li Joe's tournament, the two players that were playing in the tournament would sit on the cab, and around the cab was like, I don't know, like 20 or 30. The entire battle hub basically was just surrounded around the cab, spectating on the cab itself. I thought it was a really cool visual, you know? I think they did a really good job with that, and people are using it the way they wanted to. The way that Capcom wanted them to.
ピラ柱がある。そこをその柱をよりこう成長させていくっていうような感じで開発を進め。
It's crazy how intentional all of the design in the battle hub is, you know.
翔英さんいっ
ぱい書いてるね。
翔英さんいっぱい書いてある。
All these drawings.
これ。かっこいい。このグレー
？Those are really cool. Like it would be cool to like own some of this stuff and put it in frames, like even lithographs of it.
どうしても僕が最初に教えを請うた秋丸さんなので、キャラクターの
I think this is the like current art director.
かなりこう教えていただいたので、やっぱその先輩
They showed him in one of the previous videos.
だったらこの例えば今回のリュウとかケンとかチュンリーっていうキャラクターがどう成長
Those are such huge shoes to fill.
みたいなのはやっぱどうしても考えるんですけど、その中で僕の中でずっと培ってたものも一緒に出さないとなんか。
This is really cool, right? However, I felt like I needed to put my own experience or else I would solely be driven by my seniors. I think this happens a lot to me when I play the game. like when I'm learning the game and people are teaching me, I will like try and copy their playstyle a lot of the time and I lose my own expression, you know? I lose my own experience of what makes me good at the game. I can't even imagine how that feels for him, like somebody who is trying to reference somebody else's art or take inspiration from it but not copy it completely. It must be so difficult. That's a crazy looking can.
相対して今回ルークとジェイミー、キンバリーっていうのはいるので、そこはもう本当に自分なりにそこにちゃんとそのぶつけていきたいという。
Wait, I kind of want to rewind this real quick.
なるかなっていうのは起きつつ、
So I think what he's saying is like with Ken, Ryu, Chun, he had to age already existing characters, but with the younger generation that they're trying to push, like Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly, these are like his characters, you know? This is like his way of expressing himself, I guess. I think it's a very beautiful sentiment.
今の世代の人たちにもちゃんとこう刺さるキャラクターになってほしかったので、若々しさだったり、リュウとかチュンリーとかも本当にこう達人のような表
Yeah,
現でした。
I think they did a very good job with even translating that through their designs. Like Chun's design looks a lot more mature, you know. She does look like a
技はまだ
master.
未熟なんだけど、そのキャラクターの中からそうエネルギーが溢れてるような表現にしてあげたかったので、まあ、そういうところはすごく意識してデザインさせていただいて、そこはもうあとは先輩方々がそれを見て、
Yeah, it must be such a heavy weight to bear, you know.
後輩ながら思っちゃう。
Like you're improving on existing designs, and then you have to show it to the man who created the character in the first place. The like most iconic fighting game character ever, like Ryu and Chun
マ
and
リーザ
Ken.
っていう、パンクラチョンを使うすごく大きな女性のキャラ
Was that her? Is that her fighting
パワ
style?
フルな女性キャラをちょっといつか作ってみたい
I
な
guess that's her
と思って
fighting
いた
style.
ので作りましたね。グラディエーターで豪快なんですけど、趣味がアクセサリー作りとかちょっと二面性があるようなキャラクターで、アクションも
I thought at first when I saw her character, I thought it was like a gimmick character, like because her, you know, she has the helmet head and stuff. I thought it was gonna be a joke character, but the more we saw about her and the more we saw her in
マノン
motion,
っていう
I thought the character was very cool.
キャラクター
I really like the gladiator theme behind
投
her.
げキャラクターなんですよね。で投げキャラクター
LA
の、
dancer.
よく言われることの一つに、すごく強い技、同じ技を何回も見させられるのが嫌だっていう食らう側の人の気持ちがちょっとあって、
People playing against Geef and getting mad about
最
SPD.
初からそのマノンっていうキャラクターは試合中に投げたらどんどん技の演出が変わ
Oh,
るってやつ
that's very creative solution to that. You know, it changes. I mean, the attacks themselves don't change, but the animations do, right? So it doesn't seem like you're doing the same thing over and over
やられてる
again.
方が嫌な気持ちにならないことはないんですけど、少しでもこう絵が変わったりとか、
Yeah,
同じ
I think that's a very creative
状
solution.
況がこう繰り返しにならないようなものを
Getting hit by 15 SPDs around was never really something that got me frustrated visually. Like seeing it over and over again, I wasn't like, oh man, I can't. I mean, I hate seeing SPD 3 times. But now that I think about it, maybe I do get frustrated.
彼女は
Maybe it is cool to have evolving animations.
短いのでポカモガンっていうこう、ね、武器を使って戦うんですけども、
Olga
彼女も
Mogans.
昔サンダーホークを使ってた人が使っても、使いやすい。でも今回からこのキャラクターを触っても始めやすいみたいなのをちょっと
Beginner friendly character.
なんで技構成がちょっと特殊だったりするんで
Hopefully she's not
使っ
broken.
てて楽しいキャラになったら
That seems to be like the balancing problem with some fighting games is the easy to use characters being broken.
JP っていうキャラクター、このキャラクターは今までいたキャラクターと違ってちょっと年配のキャラクターなんですけども、一応今回の悪役というかボスに相
So he is the villain.
当するキャラクターになってます。
I think they kind of hinted at him being in the villain or being the villain with everything they've shown, but they never definitively said that he was
まあ
the
歴代
villain.
のボスがすごく個性的なの
He
で、
just kind of had that
な
energy
かなか
to
こう
him,
押し負けないように作るのが大変だったんですけども、持ってる
which I guess means they did a very good
世界
job
観
in
とか
defining
思想
him.
とか
They didn't have to
今までの
explicitly say he was a
ボスと
villain.
ちょ
He
っと
just kind of
違って
showed
彼の
himself
掘り
as
下げ
one.
ていくと面白いエピソードがいっぱいあるので、ちょっと癖のあるボスキャラを作りたかったっていうところになります。
I thought G was going to be the boss character for the beginning of the game for sure. I hope he comes back though.
自分がゲームって作ってる最中が一番楽しいって話を自分はしたんですよ。なんか出た後ってこう手も加えられないし、
This is I really want to highlight this real quick. This is a very good mentality to have, I feel like, because nowadays games will get released and then they will be patched into a complete product, right? They'll be patched into something completely different than it started as, like Street Fighter V was. And to their credit, these two new directors, they didn't take over Street Fighter V until like the 5th season, like when Dan came out. I think that was the first character they had. So I like that he says it like this. You know, they're taking their time to make sure that the product is good from the beginning, and they can add to it with patches, not finish it with patches.
そうですね。
なんか
I really hate that about new games. It's like you will pay $60 for an incomplete product and just have
出なけれ
to
ばいいのになって
accept it until they patch it or get a refund.
ダメなんだけど、ずっと作らせ続けてほしいなっていう気持ちになっちゃって、出たら出たらでね、自分の子供みたいなもんなんで、可愛いは可愛い。
You can tell how much they really care about it just based on how they talk about the
キャラ
game,
ク
you
ター
know?
のいろんな側面を見せたかったっていうところは結構こだわったポイントですね。なので対戦部分で使う竜と、
Him, he's
実はその
ripped.
竜っていうのはこういうバックグラウンドがあってとか、 竜が
He stole Kuma's sandals. I forgot about that.
なかなかこの歴代のシリーズをやってきた方には知ってることかもしれないけど、今回初めてストリートファイターを始めてみようって思った方からするともうちんぷんかんぷんのこともそのワールドツアーとかいろんなもの、
This is really cool. This makes me very interested in playing World Tour mode because I miss out on like so much of the lore. I honestly, in most games, every game actually that I play, I do not care about the lore. But Street Fighter is a game that I put probably the most time into, and I know like the least about the characters and their backgrounds, right? It might be something I'm interested in for once. I'm not the, I'm not usually the lore monster. It's hard for me to suspend reality and like, think about a story that is not real, I guess.
バイオやってくださいって言われたらちょっと、
カプコンの IP だったら自分たちは多分一番向いてるし、心血を注げるんだろうなって、もともとね遊んでた側の人間なんで。
That's cool.
こうやったら嬉しいっていうポイントが分かりやすいかもしれない。
そうかも。すごい。
I really do think they picked the right people this time to be the directors.
多分嬉しいだろうみたいな。
Everything that they've done, even from Street Fighter V onward, has been good. Like Dan and like Rose and Oro and that entire season. Who was it? It was Akira and Luke. All those characters were good. They were more intricate than any other characters in Street Fighter V. Kind of to their detriment. But they were just, they were fun to play. You tell a lot of thought went into them.
IP を広げるっていうのはかなり重要だし意識はしてます。
I like how they dress. Every time I see them dressed, they're never wearing like suits or anything. It's always like streetwear, you know?
そういう後輩とか今後作っていく人たちにもうちゃんとバトンを渡していかなきゃいけないな。そのために6で終わらせるわけにはいかないなって思いが。
Not possibly end with Street Fighter 6.
一言で言うと自分のすごい好きなタイトルですね。
That's really cool. Well, anyways, that's it. I think that's the last episode in this little series. It's the last one I'm going to cover. I can only steal so much content before I even start feeling like a thief. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I will talk to you again very soon.